Hey everyone, welcome. On this channel, we're going to get into an advanced look at the story Disastrous Necromancer. Come with me as we unravel the journey of Lin Moyu, from his beginnings to him becoming a force to be reckoned with in a mysterious new world. If this story sounds like something you'll enjoy, please like, share, and comment. Your support helps us keep providing these in-depth looks into the world of Disastrous Necromancer. Now let's continue.
Contestant number 45, named Wang Zhongju, comes from the Xuanwu Star region. Wang Zhongju has the realm of a small god sovereign and is skilled in defense. In the fourth round of the competition, he made a comeback and defeated contestant number 18, advancing to the fifth round. From the numbering, it seems he is quite different from Chu Shang. Of course, Lin Moyu is not clear about the specific situation. When obtaining the number, Chu Shang and Zhuang Bai used some small tricks to gain an advantage in the numbering. It was precisely by leveraging this advantage that Chu Shang's opponents in the first 4 rounds were not very strong. Lin Moyu is not sure about Chu Shang's true strength either. Zhuang Bai explained, he knows Wang Zhongju, and their strengths are evenly matched. Chu Shang shook his head, no, his soul is not as strong as mine. If we were outside, I would have a chance to kill him. But here, I'm not confident. This guy's defense is too abnormal. Wang Zhongju comprehends the water and earth laws. The two laws achieve a perfect balance, and combined, his defense ranks among the top 3 among all small god sovereigns. This is also one of the reasons why the competition is held in an arena, even though all contestants can fly in the starry sky. It's to accommodate some special laws. One characteristic of the earth law is that as long as one stands on the ground, they can continuously draw power from it, without worrying about exhausting their strength. Chu Shang said angrily, as long as Wang Zhongju doesn't leave the arena, I can't do anything to him. Lin Moyu tore off a piece of meat and threw it into his mouth, then just wear him down. Chu Shang shook his head, I can't wear him down. As long as he stays in the arena, his strength won't run out. He will keep attacking, and your strength will gradually be exhausted. Lin Moyu could imagine the scene. Wang Zhongju transforming into a turret, standing in the center of the arena, continuously launching attacks. Even if Chu Shang tried to wear him down, he would eventually be worn out. Xu Jianxing, who was beside them, said, I watched Wang Zhongju's 4th round match. That's exactly how he fought, eventually wearing his opponent to death. Lin Moyu asked, is there no way to deal with him? Chu Shang shook his head, maybe there is, but I can't think of one. Zhuang Bai said, if your strength is strong enough to break his defense, you can defeat him. Or, if you can restrict his earth law, that would work too. From what I know about these contestants, Dongfang Zi, Wei Bowen, and Qing Fei can all defeat him. Lin Moyu thought for a moment and took out a magical artifact. It was a rope-like magical artifact, only at the true god realm. The rope was thin and long, coiled into a ball in his palm, resembling a ball of thread. This is a trophy I obtained during a mission. It's not very useful, but I found it interesting, so I kept it. Lin Moyu wasn't lying, he had obtained many trophies from various missions. Most of them were sold, but he kept some interesting trinkets. The rope in his hand was one of them, called the heart-linking rope. The heart-linking rope doesn't have much use. It can forcibly bind 2 people together, making them inseparable for a certain period. If Chu Shang uses it, he can bind himself to Wang Zhongju. Then Chu Shang can take him off the ground, breaking his earth law. However, the heart-linking rope has limitations. Since it's only a true god realm magical artifact, its effect on a god king realm being is very short. If Wang Zhongju were a small god sovereign, it wouldn't work at all. Now that he's suppressed to the first rank of the God King realm, the effect won't last more than 2 minutes. This means Chu Shang must defeat Wang Zhongju within 2 minutes. Once Wang Zhongju returns to the ground, Chu Shang will lose. Chu Shang, who was initially very frustrated, took the heart-linking rope and, after refining it, suddenly burst into laughter. Good stuff, 2 minutes is enough. Tomorrow, I'll beat him up. Zhuang Bai laughed, beat him up well, beat him hard. Lin Moyu asked, Senior brother Zhuang, is there any problem with your opponent tomorrow? Zhuang Bai shook his head, no problem, at most it'll take some effort. Hearing this, Lin Moyu knew there wouldn't be any issues. Zhuang Bai, unlike Chu Shang, was cautious and rarely made mistakes. To be selected as a seed player, one must either be extremely strong or have great potential. Both Zhuang Bai and Chu Shang, as small god sovereigns, had considerable strength. Entering the top 16 shouldn't be a problem. Especially after obtaining lower numbers, their opponents were much weaker, making it even less of an issue. Lin Moyu raised his wine glass. I wish both senior brothers victory tomorrow and advancement to the top 16. Chu Shang raised his glass and clinked it with Lin Moyu's, just watch, tomorrow I'll beat that old turtle hard. The fifth round of battles arrived as scheduled, and Lin Moyu watched the matches again, wanting to see how Chu Shang would beat his opponent. The fifth round had only 15 matches. The Human Emperor Network made some changes, with only 5 matches happening simultaneously each time. Based on the numbering, the first matches were between contestants numbered 2 to 6. Chu Shang was teleported into the arena, and Lin Moyu saw the cultivator named Wang Zhangju. He looked like a middle-aged man, but there was a hint of worry in his brows. In the arena, he greeted Chu Shang and spoke to him. The two knew each other, but Chu Shang didn't pay much attention to him. After a few words, they seemed to have a disagreement. Lin Moyu felt there might be some backstory, but it wasn't his concern. The battle began, and Wang Zhangju leapt up, his body instantly covered in solid ice. He didn't charge at Chu Shang but instead fell like a meteor, directly hitting the center of the arena. Then his law domain expanded, and he half-crouched on the ground, transforming into a turret. His law domain merged with the arena, and most of the arena glowed with a yellowish-brown light, becoming his energy source. The ice on his body thickened, and countless ice arrows formed. The dense ice arrows shot towards Chu Shang. This was his attack method, standing in the center of the arena, using it as his energy source to continuously attack. Relying on the strong defense provided by the two laws, he could ignore his opponent's attacks. Although his attacks weren't very strong, they were enough to wear down his opponent. Without the heart-linking rope, Chu Shang would indeed be helpless against him. But now, Chu Shang's power erupted, and his law domain expanded. Countless battle knives appeared in Chu Shang's law domain, flying up and cutting down all the ice arrows. Chu Shang charged towards Wang Zhangju, his law domain shattering the ice arrows along the way. This showed that in terms of pure attack power, Chu Shang far surpassed Wang Zhangju. Cultivators from the Xuanwu Star region were known for their defense, ranking first, and their attack, ranking last. Chu Shang broke through the rain of ice arrows and rushed to Wang Zhangju. Wang Zhangju, half-crouched on the ground, continued to control the ice arrows to attack Chu Shang, with a disdainful look. Chu Bear, you know my defense. You can't break it. Chu Shang grinned, showing his white teeth. Old turtle, I have a way to deal with you. Wang Zhangju remained unmoved. Then try it. Chu Shang's law domain expanded, and the battle knives formed a whirlwind, breaking through Wang Zhangju's ice arrows and landing on him, producing dense collision sounds. A yellowish-brown light emerged from Wang Zhangju, and with the help of the Earth Law, he remained unmoved. It's useless, Wang Zhangju said calmly. Chu Shang took out a thin rope, his smile widening. Whether it's useful, you'll know after trying. Wang Zhangju saw the rope in Chu Shang's hand and felt a sense of foreboding. He realized that things might go badly. A small god sovereign's soul is very strong, and their sixth sense is very sharp. They often have a premonition about things that are about to happen and are unfavorable to them. But it was too late. The rope in Chu Shang's hand instantly grew larger and thicker, then flew over like a python, binding Wang Zhangju. Wang Zhangju frowned slightly, wondering what it meant to be tied up with a rope. His laws and strength were not affected at all. As long as he didn't move, Chu Shang couldn't do anything to him. But in the next second, something happened that made him panic. The other end of the rope was actually connected to Chu Shang, wrapped around his arm several times. In an instant, Wang Zhangju felt an unclear connection between himself and Chu Shang, as if they had become one and could not be separated. Wang Zhangju gritted his teeth and said, Chu Bear, what are you trying to do? Chu Shang laughed, you'll find out soon enough. As soon as he finished speaking, Chu Shang suddenly flew up, his whole body bursting with power, shooting straight into the sky like an arrow. Wang Zhangju's whole body jerked, and an irresistible force directly pulled him off the ground. As soon as he left the ground, the Earth Law was interrupted, and his defensive power greatly weakened. Wang Zhangju struggled desperately, his hands and feet were not restricted and could move freely. But he couldn't get too far from Chu Shang, the two of them were less than a meter apart. This was the effect of the heart-linking rope, which made it impossible for the two to separate. If he were a small god sovereign now, he could easily break free from the heart-linking rope. But now he was only at the first rank of the God King realm, and the heart-linking rope could bind him for a full 2 minutes. Old turtle, get ready to be beaten up. Chu Shang's voice rang in his ears, followed by a fist the size of a sandbag landing on his head. With a bang, Chu Shang's heavy punch left Wang Zhangju a bit dazed. Leaving the ground and losing the protection of the Earth Law, Wang Zhangju's defensive power greatly decreased and could no longer fully block Chu Shang's heavy punches. But this was just the beginning. Countless battle knives followed. Chu Shang dragged Wang Zhangju into the whirlwind formed by the battle knives. The battle knives formed by the laws fell densely on Wang Zhangju, continuously shattering his defenses. Wang Zhangju roared repeatedly, his body covered in layers of ice, but they were quickly shattered by the battle knives. He fought back with all his might, but his attacks were not very effective and were all blocked by Chu Shang's battle knives. Chu Shang's iron fists were like the wind, and the battle knives were like rain, beating Wang Zhangju until he screamed in pain. In just over 20 seconds, with a loud bang, all the ice shattered, and Wang Zhangju's defenses collapsed. Chu Shang let out a mad laugh. Next, I'm going to beat you up hard. These 100 punches are for you being so arrogant usually. Amid Wang Zhangju's continuous screams, Chu Shang rained down over 100 punches, accompanied by his wild laughter. These 100 punches are for you competing with me for Xiao Ling. Another 100 punches, beating Wang Zhangju until his skin was torn and his flesh was lacerated. These 100 punches are for you taking my mission reward. Another 100 punches, and Wang Zhangju screamed, when did I take your mission reward? Chu Shang shouted, if you hadn't thickened your face and squeezed in, would that mission have included you? Wang Zhangju replied, but I also contributed to the mission. I don't care, Chu Shang roared, delivering dozens more punches. Wang Zhangju was unconvinced and continued to shout, then what's the reason now? These few 100 punches are because I just want to beat you up, no reason needed. Chu Shang began to be unreasonable. His fists, accompanied by knives, became more and more frenzied. In just 1 minute, Wang Zhangju's entire body was covered in wounds, looking as miserable as could be. Chu Shang grabbed Wang Zhangju, admit defeat, or I'll keep beating you. Wang Zhangju's eyes opened from the blood, and the past minute was the most torturous experience he had ever had. He wanted to speak, but his throat seemed to be injured and he couldn't make a sound. Seeing this, Chu Shang said, you won't admit defeat, huh? Then keep getting beaten. With a flurry of punches, Wang Zhangju felt wronged. It wasn't that he didn't want to admit defeat, but he couldn't make a sound. Chu Shang was clearly doing it on purpose, deliberately injuring his throat and then finding an excuse to beat him up. Wang Zhangju's injuries looked severe, but they were all superficial. For a god king, such superficial injuries were nothing. Even if his arms and legs were broken, they could regenerate. The key was that it hurt. It really hurt. Those punches and knives were no different from being flayed alive. Wang Zhangju couldn't take it anymore. He really wanted to admit defeat, but he couldn't make a sound. Finally, he had a bright idea and used his soul to communicate with the Human Emperor Network, shouting, I admit defeat. The formation on the arena activated, and a vast force separated the two. Chu Shang received the notification of his victory, and the two disappeared from the arena. Everyone watching the battle held their breath. It wasn't that the process was particularly exciting, but Chu Shang was too brutal. A fellow small god sovereign, Wang Zhangju, was beaten so miserably. Chu Shang instantly became a brutal figure in many people's minds. However, Chu Shang was in an exceptionally good mood, with a satisfied smile on his face, drinking large gulps of wine. It was so satisfying. I've wanted to beat that guy up for years. Finally got the chance this time. Lin Moyu, your heart-linking rope is really useful. Chu Shang raised his wine glass to Lin Moyu on the rooftop. Lin Moyu was watching Zhuang Bai's battle, seeing Zhuang Bai steadily gaining the upper hand, suppressing his opponent without any resistance. Lin Moyu knew Zhuang Bai was sure to win. Looking at the other battles, Dongfang Zi, Qing Fei, and Wei Bowen, the top-ranked seed players, had no problems. Lin Moyu retracted his gaze and flew down from the rooftop. Senior brother Chu still showed mercy. Chu Shang said, we're all from the same clan. Although I dislike that guy, I wouldn't go so far as to kill him. Come, drink. Today I'm in a great mood, let's drink until we're drunk. Lin Moyu nodded and drank with Chu Shang. Wang Zhangju's injuries were all superficial and would heal in half a day, not affecting the subsequent round-robin tournament. After the top 16 were decided today, the next step was the round-robin tournament. No one knew what format the round-robin tournament would take. The Human Emperor Network used different formats each time, making it impossible to predict. There had been individual round-robins, team round-robins, and even chaotic battles. The Human Emperor Network seemed to adjust the format based on the strength of the contestants each time. The specific rules would only be announced just before the round-robin tournament began. Moments later, Zhuang Bai also returned from the arena. Zhuang Bai's victory was unsurprising, and the entire process was steady and methodical. Chu Shang shouted, "Old Zhuang, come drink with me. Today is really satisfying." Zhuang Bai chuckled, "Got your revenge?" "Yes, I did, all of it." He drank large gulps of wine and soon became drunk. It's hard for a god king to get drunk. Ordinary wine won't do, only wine that can intoxicate the soul can make a god king drunk. But today was different. Chu Shang wanted to get drunk, so any wine would do. Zhuang Bai sighed, "I hope he can really let go after this." Lin Moyu smiled, "It seems there's a story to be told. Senior brother Zhuang, would you like to share?" Zhuang Bai laughed, "It's actually nothing much." While Chu Shang was dead drunk, Zhuang Bai rarely spoke about Chu Shang's embarrassing stories. Chu Shang once met a female cultivator named Xiao Ling during a mission. Chu Shang fell in love with Xiao Ling at first sight, but Xiao Ling was not interested in Chu Shang. However, because Chu Shang was powerful, Xiao Ling would take the initiative to invite Chu Shang on subsequent missions. This made Chu Shang mistakenly believe that Xiao Ling was interested in him. Later, Wang Zhongju appeared and joined them on their missions. For some reason, Xiao Ling eventually married Wang Zhongju. Since then, Chu Shang had always held a grudge against Wang Zhongju, often referring to it as a wife-stealing hatred. Zhuang Bai laughed and said, "Actually, this guy was the third party. Xiao Ling and Wang Zhongju were childhood sweethearts and had been engaged for a long time." After this incident, his anger should have subsided. Lin Moyu looked at Chu Shang and didn't know what to say. It turned out that the so-called wife-stealing hatred was all Chu Shang's wishful thinking. However, based on Lin Moyu's understanding of Chu Shang, this guy seemed carefree on the surface but was actually very thoughtful. He probably knew the truth long ago but couldn't let go of his pride. This matter would not be mentioned again in the future, it would just drift away in the wind and scatter among the stars. Chu Shang was drunk for more than half a day and only woke up after the competition had ended. After waking up, Chu Shang was still the same as usual. Lin Moyu and Zhuang Bai tacitly did not mention anything about Wang Zhongju. The fifth round of the competition did not have any major surprises. Among the 15 winners, 12 were contestants numbered 2 to 13. Including Lin Moyu, the top 16 included contestants numbered 1 to 13. Among these 13, 3 were from the Divine City, and 2 were from the War God Hall. The remaining 8 were recommended by the lords of the 4-star regions. This not only proved their absolute strength but also showed that the lords of the 4-star regions had good judgment. The remaining 3 contestants were numbered 18, 19, and 21, also low-numbered contestants. If divided by star region, the top 16 included 3 from the Vermilion Bird Star region, Lin Moyu, Zhuang Bai, and Chu Shang. The Azure Dragon Star region had 4 spots, while the White Tiger Star region and the Xuanwu Star region each had 2. After the competition, Xu Jianqing also came over, looking somewhat nervous. The round-robin tournament would start the next day, and although the specific format was still unknown, everything would depend on strength. Xu Jianqing was relatively weak among everyone, so he would inevitably suffer. The next day, all contestants received a reminder from the Human Emperor Network. The round-robin tournament will officially start in 1 hour. Contestants, please prepare. Until the start of the round-robin tournament, no one knew the specific rules. Preparation was difficult. Lin Moyu took out several True God Realm magical artifacts and gave them to Xu Jianqing. They were not weapons or similar artifacts, as Xu Jianqing did not lack those. What Lin Moyu gave were some magical artifacts with unique functions. For example, one artifact was a small sword that had no offensive capabilities. Its function was to absorb the user's blood and turn the user into a blood person. In the blood person state, the user could be immune to most law damage while their own attacks remained unaffected. This was a good auxiliary artifact, but its duration was very short, only 1 minute. There were several such miscellaneous artifacts, which Lin Moyu found interesting and kept. To him, they were just toys, but in certain situations, they could be very useful. For example, the heart-linking rope, which Chu Shang used to easily defeat Wang Zhongju. Some artifacts, when used appropriately, could be extremely effective. As for how Xu Jianqing would use them, that was up to him. The most useful artifact was a jade token that could hide one's aura. Although the jade token was only a true God Realm artifact, once used, even a God King would find it difficult to detect. Zhuang Bai looked at the items Lin Moyu gave and had a suspicion. Junior brother Lin, do you have some guesses about the rules of the round-robin tournament? Lin Moyu said, I do have some guesses, but they may not be accurate. Xu Jianqing's eyes lit up. Senior brother Lin, please share your thoughts. Lin Moyu naturally did not keep them in suspense. with so many people in the round-robin tournament, it's impossible to have one-on-one matches. I initially guessed that the round-robin tournament would likely simulate a battlefield. Since it's a battlefield simulation, it would naturally simulate various situations. So I think the round-robin tournament is very likely to be a team competition, a chaotic battle, or even a combination of multiple formats. This would test your actual combat abilities, adaptability, and teamwork skills. Based on your performance, you would receive a comprehensive score. It was for this reason that Lin Moyu gave Xu Jianxing these artifacts, just in case. Xu Jianxing admired Lin Moyu immensely. It seemed that as long as there was a clue, Lin Moyu could deduce many possibilities. This ability was something Xu Jianxing could never match. He began to familiarize himself with the artifacts. If the round-robin tournament was as Lin Moyu predicted, these artifacts would be very useful. An hour later, he was teleported into the arena. Lin Moyu, Zhuang Bai, and Chu Shang began watching the round-robin tournament. Their top 16 matches would start after the round-robin tournament, but the rules had not yet been determined. The round-robin tournament would also provide valuable reference for them. Many arenas appeared with large forests, lakes, islands, and glaciers. Some arenas had stars in the sky, with cold ice stars and scorching suns, bringing different environmental changes. Some arenas even turned into worlds of lava. Different arenas had different terrains. But one common feature was that each arena had 4 large gates around it. No one knew where the gates led. Nearly 500 contestants were teleported into different arenas, with 5 to 10 contestants in each arena, the numbers varying. At this moment, the Human Emperor Network finally announced the rules of the round-robin tournament. The rules of the round-robin tournament are as follows. Asterisk. Everyone starts with 100 points. Asterisk. The goal is to defeat opponents. The winner gains 1 point, and the loser loses 1 point. Asterisk. Losers will be randomly teleported to another arena. Each arena has different environments and varying numbers of contestants. Asterisk. Contestants can also use the teleportation gates around the arena to enter other arenas. Asterisk. Contestants can form teams. Points gained will be evenly distributed among team members. If the points gained are less than 0.5, no points will be awarded. Asterisk. Contestants who feel they cannot win can surrender and will be randomly teleported to another arena. Asterisk. Other restrictions are the same as in the arena matches and must not be violated. Asterisk. The round-robin tournament will last for 30 days. Asterisk. Note, the arenas are not safe. Do not stay in one place for too long. Asterisk. Reading the rules, many people were confused and didn't fully understand them. However, some quick-witted individuals immediately grasped the meaning of the round-robin tournament. At this moment, Xu Jianxing was truly convinced. Lin Moyu's guess was not far off. Senior brother Lin is truly amazing to have guessed this. Don't rush. As junior brother Lin said, let's analyze the rules first. Only by understanding the rules can we avoid suffering. We have 30 days, so let's take our time.